Today on the You Ought to Know show, we are in Little Rock visiting with Entergy about their sustainability efforts that are powering Arkansas. Joining me today is Chris Cook, Customer Service Regional Manager at Entergy Arkansas, to tell me about their initiatives to go and power Arkansas with more sustainable energy. Thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely, appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so show us what we have. Right now we have the Adopt Charger, and this is ran through with Entergy.
Absolutely.
So tell me about this project.
So this car is a Chevy Volt that Entergy has leased, and amazingly enough, it only takes about 14 kilowatt hours to charge. So on a fast charger like we have behind you, that's about 4 hours, and at your home at 120 volt receptacle, about 8 hours to recharge. And so it's does not have a gas motor. It's all electric, and it's very quiet and enjoyable to drive. So.
Well, I know really right now the buzz is, how are we going to sustain a lot of electric vehicles? And it really sounds like Entergy has a lot going for them, a lot of plans. And so what does sustainable renewable energy look like for Entergy?
That's a big question, but I can tell you that Entergy Arkansas is well suited to be in this space. So already, with Arkansas Nuclear One gives us about 65% roughly of our annual generation. And then we've got, between 6 and 8% comes from another emission-free source, hydroelectric power. So around 70% of our portfolio in our generation mix is already clean. And we're actually making improvements there as well. So over the next few years, there's going to be a lot more new solar arrays in Arkansas. We are a prime spot. Today we have about just shy of 300 megawatts of renewable power in play today, with plans to add more in the future. So we are well suited to be in this space here in Arkansas and as a company. So I think we're well suited to, to be able to power or supply power for these types of vehicles in the future. There's a lot of initiatives underway, a lot of strategic planning underway to make sure that we have facilities necessary to meet the demand that we expect is coming.
So I saw a goal with the Green Promise by 2050.
Right.
Y'all have a pretty substantial goal that y'all are working towards. Can you talk on what that is?
Absolutely. So by 2050, we do expect to be net zero carbon emissions. So there's a lot of offsets there, but we're also cleaning up our generation fleet as well. We're actually working to procure electric vehicles for our own fleet. And so we're trying to attack not only the Scope 2 emissions, but Scope 1 as well, and Scope 3 emissions. So we've got plans across all three scopes to clean up our portfolio.
Solar farms. Can you tell me how long that really takes to create? I've driven past a few, and all the cords, everything to set that up. So what does the process look like to create a solar farm?
Wow, so that's a big question. So, we make our plan, and we have to get our plan adopted and ensure that whatever we plan is going to be in the public interest. And we take a lot of diligence. We exercise a lot of diligence before we bring a plan to the Public Service Commission, who's our regulator. But once they approve it, and their approval basically says that this new generating station is in the public interest, then we work to bid out those projects. And from the time that we have contract execution with the builder, whether we are going to be our own general contractor or we're going to hire somebody else to do it, you're looking at a year to 18 months, potentially longer, depending on what supply chain concerns arrive. We've had some of those over the last couple of years. So about a year and 18 months.
How many do you estimate are in the state right now that are owned by Entergy?
So we have 3. We have Cersei Solar, which is our first 100 megawatt array that has a battery backup as well. We're able to back up about 30 megawatts with the battery setup there. And then we have Chico Solar, which is another 100 megawatt array. And to put perspective to that, that's enough to, I think, power about 15,000 homes. Wow. And an array that size takes up about 400 acres, plus or minus, give or take. Then we have Stuttgart Solar, which is an 81 megawatt array there. But we're also building Driver Solar in Northeast Arkansas. That's 250 megawatts. We've got a couple of different arrays that are approved by the commission that are underway right now. Construction's underway. So today we are the natural state's largest solar provider in the state. And we expect to hold on to that title for years to come.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. What other initiatives is Entergy doing to, reduce our carbon footprint, make customers aware of their different options?
Sure. So a lot of education underway. We're working with the Arkansas Energy Office to get out some information. We're also working with community action agencies to inform our low-income customers, our disadvantaged customers, to make sure that they have access to renewables as well. Green Promise is really the gateway for all customers to come in and source their energy through a subscription to renewables. And it's a monthly subscription, but it's available for everybody. The large commercial and industrial accounts, all the way down to apartment complexes, residential customers as well. And it's priced in such a way that it's really low or no cost. And the credits based on the output of those particular generating sites, the customers will actually see credits in different times of the year. So it's really going to be beneficial for customers, and it helps us keep our rates low in Arkansas.
Is that happening now, or is that a year from now? When will this really kick off?
So that's a great question. Green Promise is already been approved by the Public Service Commission. It's available to customers today. We have 1 megawatt set aside for low-income and residential customers, so they can take advantage of that today by just going to renew.entergy.com, or they can go to our website, entergy-arkansas.com, and they can find out more by clicking sustainability and look at our offerings there. But it's not just Green Promise. We have Go Zero now, which is really tailored for commercial and industrial customers that can take advantage of not just green power, but clean power as well. And so that's a product that you'll probably hear more about in the coming days. We recently got that approved by our regulator. And then we also have energy efficiency initiatives. So we're working all across the scopes in helping our customers and the company itself to reduce their carbon footprint.
So can you speak on the difference between green and clean?
Sure. So in terms of green and clean, I mean, you mentioned the buzzword is, sustainability, and emission-free power is definitely in vogue, and I think it's here to stay, and it's good for the environment. We know that, but clean is emission-free power, or CFE is an industry term, carbon-free energy. And so when you hear that, think about your nuclear power, which I'm hoping is coming back in vogue, at least at some point in the near future. And then also the hydroelectric sources as well they're emission-free, so that's clean. And then the green would be any renewable type of source of power. And today, largely, that's solar power. In the future, and I'm excited about the future, hydrogen, I think Arkansas is going to be a prime place for a future hydrogen hub. That's my hope. That's my personal hope. And I think the company is making some plans in our integrated resource plan to that effect. We're at least exploring it. So our future is exciting.
So why is it so important to Entergy to take on all of these initiatives to provide greener, cleaner energy for its customers?
Well, we think it's the right thing to do, obviously, for the environment. However, our investors are telling us it's the right thing to do. Our key stakeholders, besides our investors, obviously our customers are coming to us saying, hey, we want clean, we want renewable power. What is Entergy doing about it? We're hearing it from residential customers, and we're hearing it from our commercial and industrial customers. And so, and we've been hearing it for some time, which is why we're so far ahead of some of our partner utilities, in fact. But we're in a service world, and we want to provide a service for the customer that they want to have. So that's why we're doing it.
Compared to other states, how do we look in that scope?
That's what I'm most excited about, Colbie, is that not only do we have the land available for renewables, whether that's green hydrogen or solar, we are an inexpensive state to operate in as far as tax burden, the cost of land, employment opportunities. I think Arkansas is primed in terms of the southern U.S. to just explode in this space because of the infrastructure that we have and the infrastructure that's being planned. Arkansas is well positioned to be a sustainability leader in the southern U.S.
I want to go back real briefly on the charging stations.
Sure.
I know we have a lot of Teslas and other electric vehicles coming in, more so every day. but how many does Entergy expect to be installed throughout the state? Do you have an estimate on that?
I think so. So Colby, that's a great question. We've got a team based out of New Orleans that is crunching a lot of data to figure that out, because we need that information to inform our strategic infrastructure plans, right? We've got to be able to serve all of that new load. I think in the initial tranche of installations here in Arkansas, we can expect dozens of sites. Entergy is working on I think 4 different sites around the state in major corridors, some in major corridors, some outside of major highways and corridors. But then you also have petroleum, oil and gas companies who are making investments in this space, and other companies that are starting up to get in this space. So I know of dozens, but there's likely more that I'm not aware of. Yeah, so the I-40 corridor especially, there's a lot of eyes on that corridor. So I expect, from Northwest Arkansas, Russellville, Conway, Little Rock, and beyond, we're going to see those start popping up at the new Buc-ee's here and there, and existing gas stations as well. Yeah.
Anything else that Entergy would like to let their customers know about their efforts for sustainability?
Absolutely. I would want our customers to know about everything we're doing in the space. There's a lot of customers that may not be aware of our energy efficiency programs that we have. We have things that can help you save money on your bill in your residence, in your commercial property, industrial customers, cities, schools. There's really something for everybody in that space. There's a lot of incentives out there, but also any customer that is looking to electrify, whether that be a car, golf carts, billboards, anything that can be conceptualized that you want to electrify, there's incentives for that with a program called E-Tech. And then I would just want our customers to be aware that we are working on several resiliency products and additional sustainability products. So they're going to hear more and they're going to see more from Entergy Arkansas about what we're doing in this space. And it's all about the customer. It's all for the customer to have a better experience with us.
Is there somewhere that they can go to help let y'all know? I know you mentioned earlier that your customers are telling you, hey, we really want this renewable resource as an option for our energy. Is there anywhere that they can go on your website to be able to share their feedback with you all?
Absolutely. So I would encourage customers who want to provide some feedback to follow our Facebook page, but also they can go to energy-arkansas.com, and there's a newsroom link that they can click on, and they can follow us in the newsroom. And there's some comments. There's a comment section as well. So we've got a team, a corporate communications team that does manage those pages and does manage that feedback. And we listen to the feedback. So it does make its way into the customer service group, and we follow up on those comments and those questions.
Well, thank you again for joining me today and for powering our lives in Arkansas. Thank you for joining our latest episode of the You Oughta Know Show.